Hi, Child Development 110, Fall 22, Santiago Canyon College, and my name is Marianne Laney. I'll be your professor, facilitator, guide for this class. Before we get started, before we get started, my printer's cranking out some stuff. I got new glasses, so I'm trying to like practice with my new glasses. This is too close. Oh yeah, no, these are, I don't need them from up close. I need them for distance, so I'm gonna put those there. This class is kind of an interesting class. I'm going to give you a little bit of a personal overview on this one because this is kind of like a sociology class. 110 is a little bit unique in so much that we talk about kids and development, even humans, even adult humans, but we talk about the outside forces which affect our development. So think of it this way. My therapist is German. She is actually German. She grew up, she's around my age, so she grew up behind the Berlin Wall. Right? So how do you think that developed a person when they were told what to wear, told what to say, told what religion to follow? She even said, she's like, we kind of had a hive brain. She's like, but I was a kid and I didn't know any better. She goes, when the wall fell and I was kind of like a teenager, I got out of there as fast as I could because I wanted to live in a place that was free and let me do whatever I wanted. Now she lives in America, right? So it's things like that. So maybe if you were born somewhere else or you have family that lives somewhere else, like we'll talk about the concepts of what's in our society that affect how children are developed. So if you're taking 107, we're going to be talking about the insides of their bodies, how they grow with their muscles and their bones. But we're also going to talk about their brains and their emotions. But in this class, we talk about what different political regimes do to a family, you know, or COVID. COVID is one of the best examples of an outside force on a family. I had students whose both parents lost their job. They had to pick up and move to Texas, but they could still come to college because we all transitioned to online. So there was this massive pandemic, but then this technology like had this boon so we could sort of adjust. And these outside forces really develop who children can be, who adults are, right? Can you imagine a child? I use this in my other class, a child going to preschool with masks, but there were kids who went to kindergarten online. My friends are teachers, kindergarten teachers online. It's not the same thing. How does that develop you as a person versus a kid who could go to a regular school, right? So we're looking at outside forces in this class. So it's very, 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 very unique. So this is very much like a sociology class, but I have a sociology undergrad. One of my degrees is in sociology. So this is like near and dear to my heart. This is the very first class I taught in college. I've been teaching this class since 2013. I love it. I've polished it and evolved it over the years. This particular class, I have the most handouts and resources and tips and tricks that'll help you, like study guides and things like that, because the concepts can be a little bit out there. They could be a little bit invisible when we're talking things about like politics. Can you see politics in your hand? No, right? Can you see religion in your hand? No. But both of those things can affect a family, which then affect a child. Yeah. So a lot of stuff going on. So I would like to hear, since we have a small class today, I would like to hear from the gallery. How are you guys doing? How was your summer? Anybody have any questions before we get started? I'm going to give us a moment, like a couple minutes. I want 3 questions from whoever in the group on anything before we move forward. And I'll share my screen in just a minute. 3 questions about anything. Format of the class, policies, procedures, gripes, complaints.
I have a question.
Yes, please jump in. Who's speaking?
Oh, I'm Catherine. But
Hi, Catherine.
You guys could call me Kat, though. I should.
Oh, I love that, Kat. That's so funny.
It's easier. So do we need the physical textbook or the e-textbook?
Okay, so great question. This is one of our only courses in the child development group that still requires a book. We have options for OER textbooks, which is open educational resources, which are free. But this particular class hasn't really gotten there yet. Next, I would say in the spring, we'll have a better version of the book. But for right now, we have an actual book. Let's see if I actually have it. Oh yeah, I have it.
Yeah, because I saw on WebAdvisor, it said the book was required with the Mind Tap. So I thought we
Well,
needed.
first of all, I don't use MindTap.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is what our book looks like.
That's the same one I bought, actually.
Does it just automatically say that on the textbook info for WebAdvisor?
Yes. So this is what happens is that, yeah, the publishers want you guys to spend more money. That's the bottom line. So they put it together and they're like, well, you have to buy the MindTap. And what happens is like sometimes the bookstore doesn't have an option. It's just bundled together. But here's the deal. If you have to buy a physical book from bookstore, sometimes that people have a credit in the bookstore, just don't open the MindTap, and when you go on book buyback, you get more money back.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I use the e-textbook. For me, that's just for me. I purchased.
Yeah, I like the e-textbooks too, because that way you can control find and it's easy.
Yeah, you'd be like, where's that term? I am not flipping, like literally flipping pages.
But I'm also enrolled in 108, and so that's why I purchased we need MindTap for 108, and so I don't know if anyone else is in 108, but just wanted to mention that because they require MindTap. So I purchased the MindTap Unlimited because it allows you to take 2 like MindTap courses.
I see.
And it includes the e-textbook, but if I don't need both courses, then it's just 85 for the one class, and it's like 126 for the unlimited for 2.
Yeah, it seems like a better deal, but my personal philosophy is a publisher is not an instructor.
Yeah.
So why are they writing? Why are they telling me what to teach you guys?
Well, I think the unlimited makes sense, I guess, if you do need one MindTap course and 2 e-textbooks.
Or if you had 4.
Yeah. Well, if you need more than one e-textbook also, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, they're trying to incentivize you guys. And at the same time, they want us professors, if they want the whole campus to be on MindTap. Like, no, thank you. Did you get your degree in sociology? Child development? Oh, wait, you didn't? Oh, so you're just a publisher who wants money? So why am I putting you in charge of the content in my class?
So the people people who write the tests for the MindTap and the quizzes are not the people who wrote the textbook, or
and did those people go to school for this?
Yeah.
Now, the reason we like this book, it's by Roberta Burns. Now, she is a local professor emeritus. So, and we like this one theorist. Now, the OER book, so when I keep saying OER, it means Open Educational Resources, it's free. The state of California is creating a book that all the community colleges can use. Now, they published one, a free book, a few years ago, and we tried to switch over, but it was no bueno. So they've been working on it for a couple of years. And I know I have some friends on the committee. I was like, when is that coming out? And so they actually just sent it like last week. I was like, I'm not switching it in a week. Like, I'll do it in the spring. So you guys are going to be some of the last people to use this book. But honestly, I really like the book. I'm having a little bit of an issue. So we're going to go from this one theorist. We have a main theorist in this book. It's Yuri Bronfenbrenner. We're going to go for one theorist in this book to the next version of the book that's free is going to have multiple theorists in there, which is fine because there's multiple ways to look at family influences and influences to a child. So like, again, I'm not the end all be all. I'm not the leader of all child development. I don't have a PhD. I'm not the world's foremost leading expert on. I'm a part of a team. And so I want to make sure that even though I love Bronfenbrenner as a sociologist, I want to make sure that you guys have a full scope. So I am adopting the new book next semester. It's just to switch books is like hard. So I literally giving myself the month of January to switch books. It takes a lot because you'll see my format. I get really compulsive. I make my own headers. I line up everything. We have a rubric from the state that tells us what to do. And so I'm not perfect on that, but I'm getting there. So it's one of these things that I have a little bit of OCD, so I get really compulsive about what things look like, how things are prepared, how consistent they are, and how you guys respond to those things. And so knowing that I wasn't going to do a really great job just doing it in a week, I gave myself a semester, and you guys are going to get the great job that I've been doing for 10 years. And trust
So
me.
all the quizzes and things will be posted on Canvas modules.
I wrote them all.
Okay.
I wrote them
There's
all.
no like study guide or something, right?
I
to
have study
prepare?
guides.
Oh, you actually made it?
Yep.
Awesome. Love
Yeah.
that.
For every chapter, I have 1 or 2 versions of a study guide that you guys can use and submit as your notes.
Everything is like the quizzes and exams will be the same from study guide, right?
Oh yeah. Why would I give you a study guide? I hated that as a student. Like when people, they'd be like, okay, well, I lecture out of the book, but the test is on something completely different. What? Why are we wasting anybody's time doing that? Like that just drives me crazy. Like, but you need to remember what I said, or I'm going to put a question on the quiz that is the one in my head, but I never said it. It's not in the book. That just that's not fair. That's not fair to me.
Yeah.
I literally sit through the book and the quizzes, and I literally hammer down the book. You guys have the book. That's the information you need. This is not a quiz on everything that the professor knows, because I got weird stuff going on up here. We don't test on that.
Would it be open book?
Yes, all my tests are
For
open.
all of them, right?
All the quizzes and tests are open book.
And also the textbook that you showed us for Child Development 110?
Yeah.
I believe it's the blue one. Yeah, that one. Is that the only textbook we need for this class?
And we will read almost every page.
Yeah.
I
I
hated that
actually
too,
bought this.
Yeah,
I
good.
actually bought the same thing too.
Good, because I hated
From the
that as a
bookstore,
student,
uh-huh.
too, when the professor would say, buy this book, it's $125 and we're going to read 7 pages on it. No.
So
No,
bring
that
it to class too, right?
Yeah, bring it. Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Sure. Like that book is your like your kingdom for this class. And again, because some of these concepts are a little bit invisible, esoteric, or out there, they're concepts. It's kind of nice to have something in your hand, even when you're talking about something that's invisible, right? So the reason I bring up the overview of this class is that it's a little bit out there. It's like, when you talking about anthropology or ideas or even things like love or integrity, these are things that aren't present in our physical universe. They're ideas and concepts. So that could be a little challenging for some people. And so I want to make sure that you guys know that this class is very doable, because it's a way to look at humans, how they are developed based on their environment. Yeah, because think about it. How many
For
of you,
next week homework? Oh, sorry.
no, we're not talking about that right now, Yuri. Let's just
Sorry about
talk
that.
about this class. And then we'll talk about the syllabus, and then we'll talk about Canvas, and then we'll talk about next week's homework. Okay. We'll do that at the end. Okay. Because I know you have questions, but let's talk about the stuff that we're talking about now. Okay. So how many of you have siblings that you grew up with, but you guys all turned out differently? But there's a bunch of different reasons for that, right? Your ages, your influences, the people they hung around with, the technology or lack of technology. Like I went through graduate school with no cell phone and no computer. My little sister, 10 years behind me, had a cell phone in high school. Right? How do you think that changed her development? It did. She ran with a wild crowd. She got all sucked into social media. She got depressed and got an eating disorder. I was like, wow, I skipped all that. Right? So there's a lot of different things that help create who we are today. So let's jump into, I'm going to share my screen here. I have my dashboard. Here we go. Share screen options. No, share screen. All right, so my dashboard here just shows us, all right, we're going to have this. So your dashboard might look a little bit different. I make our class blue. That's just for me to do it because I like blue. I think it's a very friendly color. And so our class, again, is a hybrid face-to-face class. So next Tuesday at noon, we're going to be here in U99. That's where we meet. I do have a class prior to that, but that ends out at 11:45. I might let them out a little bit early, but I like to put a snack in my mouth, get some water, maybe run to the bathroom, and then we'll start class. So again, even though it's face-to-face hybrid, I don't take roll. So some people are like, I can't come to class next week, or I didn't know. Let's figure it out. There is another section of this class that you can take if this class doesn't work out for you. We use the same book. Yeah. Okay. So again, and every course has a homepage, right? So you're going to have this access to everything on campus and in our class. Announcements here are like the emails that I send. I don't want to click on that because I have a lot of them pre-programmed for like add and drop dates. But let's jump to syllabus. So I downloaded, and if you just click there, you get your PDF version, and you can download right here. Again, I made it all blue. Some of you have already done this.
This one, right?
Yeah, so 110. Yeah, it says 110. So if it's blue on top, and I actually did mine in blue, blue papers because I had blue paper here and I didn't have white paper. Well, let's see what we got. I finally got it. So let's see what we got. All right, I printed out a lot of stuff, evidently. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. Here we go. All right, here we go. I got absolutely 100% blue paper. You don't have to print it out. You save a tree, but I do for posterity, and I print out the grades at the end and put it all together. So if you are taking a different class of mine, this looks very, very similar. There's a lot of things are very similar. When you're on campus, you're going to get the same. We are required to put things like the mission statement and whatnot. So you may have seen some of these elements in a different class. Again, we meet here in person on Tuesdays 12 to 1:25, so about 90 minutes with a 5-minute break. You can take a break in the middle. I don't really schedule a break, but you're welcome to get up and take a break if you need. And again, normally classes that are 3 units meet 3 hours a week. And so because this is hybrid, we only meet half of that time. So hence the Tuesdays for an hour and a half. So again, after class, I will have student support hours, and we can do a Zoom, or we can do a phone call, or we can do pronto, whatever you need. And anytime during our meeting today, you can jump in and ask questions anytime. Sometimes I'm just like rambling on, so just jump in if you have questions. Our course description, I already kind of mentioned that. The process of socialization. Socialization is a process, meaning it's how we go from being a little kid, a newborn, we have no concept of the rules of life, and how we learn the rules of life as we go forward as an adult. Now, the process of socialization, it can also be applied to adults. So again, my therapist, she moved over to the United States when she was like 20. She had to learn the rules of the United States, right? Different set of rules. Yeah. If you haven't been outside the country, you won't know that, right? But if you have, then you're like, oh yeah, elevators and buildings, Mexico doesn't have that. I mean, they do, but they're not required by federal law. We are, right? It's called the Americans with Disabilities Act. So there's rules in life that you learn as you go, right? You can also be childlike when it comes to certain things. So have you ever helped an older person with their cell phone or like a TV remote? You were socializing them, right? You were socializing them how to use that, knew something. So they were kind of like a child in that moment, right? Even though they're older than you, right? So socialization is a process. It's really like nobody sits you down and says, okay, here's the rules of life. You learn that in different ways as you grow, right? Even coming to campus, like next week, if you haven't been on campus, let's say this is your first semester here at SEC. You've never been to campus. You're like, where's the U building? Well, I can look it up on a map, or I can park somewhere and ask a bunch of people, or I can follow where people are walking. You know, there's a bunch of different ways that you learn the rules, right? So this is the same thing. It's just over a lifetime, right? Our student learning outcomes. Again, we're going to talk about the interrelationship of the child, family, and community, hence the name of the class. And then we're going to talk about the educational, political, and socioeconomic impacts on children and family. Wow. That's COVID in a nutshell right now, right? COVID affected education, true or true? Did COVID became very politicized? True. Did COVID change our financial situation? Yep. I don't know of anybody who, well, the top 1% elite class of people made more money, but the middle class didn't, and the poor class didn't during the pandemic. So people made money off of the pandemic, and it wasn't us, right? So again, but how does it impact a child? Think about a child like your neighbor. Let's say your neighbor just had a baby, and she has like 6 kids under the age of 10. Possible, right? But then there's like Elon Musk, who had like his 6th kid. Different world, right? That kid, money, right? And that's not even the kid that he didn't even name a name. He named him like a symbol. What does it all be like growing up as a symbol? Jeez. Right. So there's all these outside influences. Sometimes parents don't get it right. And kids grow up kind of messed up. Right. So what are these different influences? What does the community say? Right. I have at home a child who was adopted, a teenager. He is mixed race. He has autism. He is being raised in a white home. Let's just be honest. Like, and so he even said to me the other day, he's like, Mom, there's another Black girl at school. And I was like, oh, cool. Are you going to like be friends with her? He's like, well, I don't know. I was like, well, maybe you should get to know her. And he's like, just because she's Black doesn't mean I have to be friends with her. And I was like, true. He's like, he's like, I don't really identify as Black. I was like, okay, how do you identify? He's like, mixed. I was like, all right. Are you friends with mixed kids? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, make your choices, right? So, but would that conversation have happened in his family of origin? I don't know. I have no idea. Would he have food or been on Medi-Cal if he was still with them? I don't know. So it's interesting. You will talk about what is in our biology a little bit, but then we'll talk about how our environment can change these things, right? So I have a sociological like a research in my house every day. He doesn't have my genetics, but he grew up with me, so he talks like me. We play music together, right? So it's interesting, but that's what we call it, nature versus nurture. This class talks a lot more about nurture. 107 talks a lot more about nature, and we'll talk about this all semester long. And you can tell I love this class. It's like I get nutty about this stuff. It's fun. Okay, so what to expect? Let's not focus on points or grades. Let's focus on learning. Learning is more important than points and grades. It really is. Because I tell you what, these things that you will learn in this class will help you figure out your siblings, your family, your coworkers, people standing in line at Starbucks. You're like, oh, I'm curious about that. I wonder what their influences were on that. Interesting. I call it cartoon vision. Like you can see like this invisible cartoon, like swirling around people like influences. Like just the thing that I like, why people choose the clothes that they have on their body. Right. So I make choices that I kind of wear a blue collared shirt every time I'm recording. I do that just for consistency, so all my videos kind of look the same. But I wore different jewelry. So I make choices based on the influences. And so I made this necklace, and it's sort of Egyptian looking. I like the Egyptian culture. That's just what I like. So of course I'm going to wear something like that, but that's not the same for you. Right? So we all have different influences that make choices in our body, right? And make choices throughout our day. The fact that I had a snack of almonds and not walnuts, right? So who we are is developed partially from who we are, but partially from who we are on the outside, what was shown to us, our models, our role models, right? Our mentors, our family, our clergy, right? I added this piece on resilience-focused education because we've all been through a trauma. Every single person on this planet who's experienced anything about COVID. Now there might be some remote villages in rural China or, India or somewhere that didn't really experience COVID. That's fine. Did their life change? Maybe, maybe not. But for the most part, most people on the planet, about 7 billion people, experienced trauma. So we all share this. You bring this with you to a class, whether it's virtual or in person. Your lived experiences help cloud or color your world. So let's say some people never got COVID and they never lost their job and they never had to move, and then their family got sick and their life didn't change. Then maybe they have a different color of looking at the world differently. But if your whole family, I lost people during the pandemic and it wasn't even COVID related, right? So it's like, there's this thing where you're like, okay, how many funerals did I go to? Like, and how many people did I go, or how many people lost a family member, or we've all experienced a trauma. We bring that with us into our experiences. Now, again, you're adults, right? What if you were 5 and this happened? So it's a different way to see how things, again, influence your development. For campus policies, we have safety and security. also review some of these things next week when we're on campus. Same thing with Title IX. Please, please, please read these parts, these hyperlinks. Just look at them for a minute. I didn't put a due date or anything on this. This is a syllabus. But when people come back and say, I didn't know, I'm like, well, we went over it. And I'm posting this recording in the module. So when people don't watch the recordings, that's on you, but you're still responsible for the information. Okay. So we, under Title IX, all college students are protected from harassment and discrimination. So if anybody's acting creepy to you, please let one of us know and we will help you out. It could be here on campus. It could be even at work or at home. You are still protected. As a federal law, you are a public school student, you are protected under federal law. Additional resources, like we have a pantry and basic needs. It's right here in the U building. If you don't know where it is, I'll walk you over there. Add and drop procedures. This is the class participation section. What is the last day to drop this class and get your money back? If you've already been to my lecture this morning, you already know the date. So you can look this up on WebAdvisor. You can look this up on self-service on your
Is
schedule.
this Sunday, September 4th?
Yes, Yuri, thank you. Sunday, September 4th. So not
Oh, am I actually correct?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You're in the last class. You got this. You got this.
Last day to drop this class with the full refund is Sunday, September 4th. Correct?
Yes. So it's not this Sunday, but it's the following Sunday. It's the one before Labor Day. So don't forget. Now, again, you may look at this class and be like, oh, this looks easy. And then we get into chapter 1, you're like, oh no, man, I'm out. I guess that's cool. I'll be here next semester. The credit, no credit part, actually, I'm not really familiar with that day because it doesn't list that. I tell people, if you want to do credit, no credit, because this is not your major, talk to a counselor and see if you can do credit, no credit. However, this class does count for the CSU transfer and the UC transfer.
For last day to apply for credit and no credit, the counselor, one of my parents was actually talking with the counselor, and he or she said anytime before the semester ends.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, it's usually towards the end. It's about the same date as the next line, the last day to drop with a W.
Sunday, November 13th.
Yes, Sunday, November 13th. Thank you, Yuri, gold star. Kat, you want to jump in?
Yeah, if we're taking this class to get the ECE certificate,
you need a grade. Don't do credit, no credit. If it's in your major, get the grade. If it's like you just got to take it just to take it, you can do credit, no credit. I always tell people.
If it's for the certificate, I can't do credit, no credit. I have to get the grade. Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah, that's a good question though, because I tell people credit, no credit is only if it's a filler class. But I tell people this is not technically a filler class. Like if you're planning on transferring, Cal State Fullerton wants to see a grade, or Long Beach, or UCI, or whoever. They want to see a grade. So that's why I say talk to your counselor. But I want to give people the option, because some people take classes here just to take classes. They don't want a degree. They don't want to transfer. They don't want a certificate. They don't want a permit. They're just like, hey, I'm taking a class. I don't give a rip. I just want to see. I'm like, that's cool. I just want to give you guys the option. It's like, I'm trust me, I get, especially during the pandemic, I got a lot of people who are bored. Oh, I haven't been to school in 30 years. And so I'm really curious about this class. And I have grandchildren. I was like, come on in, So it's an option. It's an option. So the last date to drop with a W is November 13th, Sunday. So thank you again, Yuri. That was very good.
Yeah, of course.
Again, that's like, hey, get a W. I think a W to me is better than an F, but they both can be overwritten when you take the class again. Right? It doesn't disappear. It just gives you a better grade. Right? So take the W instead of an F if you have to. So I give a little bit more instructions here about adding and dropping. Okay.
Wait, the last day to drop with the W? Sorry.
This last one, Sunday, November 13th.
No, November 13th.
Yeah, it's like week 10 or 12 out of 16. So here's my specific instructions on adding and dropping in this class. If you have not showed up by the first day, I drop you. So like, for example, after this class and I'm converting the videos, I go back in to see who's kind of like forgot to come to class. I reach out, I give them to like the end of the day, and then I drop people. Because there are people who fraudulently will come to try to get the student loan money and not come to class. So we're trying to cut down on that. Plus we want to keep it nice and tight. We know who's here, right? It's okay. Some people forget, so I give them a little bit of time, but yeah, I'll drop people by tomorrow morning. By the end of week 2, we'll have this week of assignments due, and then we'll have next week's of assignments due. If people miss 2 weeks of assignments, I'm like, you're not really here, so what's up? So I'll reach out, right? During week 8, about halfway through, I reach out and say, hey, I see that maybe you're at 50%, so we need to make a plan, else you're not going to pass, right? So you could drop then, or you can wait till November 13th, but let's make a plan. You know, sometimes just people aren't ready in their brain to get ready for class, and then sometimes they drop it and take the 8-week class. You can do that too. It's just accelerated. Okay. At week 10, I drop students who are still under 50%. Come back, take the class with me. I'll be here again. I'm nutballs about this class. However, next semester, it's a different book. Same concepts, different book. So again, pass it. Now they have the book, pass the class, right?
For child development 110
Yeah, I'm changing books next semester. Yeah. So pass
from
it.
January.
Yeah, in January, I will change the book. Yeah.
Different book. Okay.
Yeah. It just, you know, we can't stay with the same book forever and ever. We just can't. It's okay to
Do you know which book we're using, or?
It's going to be free, an OER book.
Oh, so you don't have to get it from the bookstore?
Nope. And if you
no.
pass this class, you don't have to take it again.
Oh, only if you don't pass?
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Sometimes people start the class and go, oh, I couldn't make it. I couldn't finish the class. And then I'll be like, oh, come back. Just, you know, keep your work. And they have their notes from like a few chapters. I'm like, you can resubmit the same notes.
If
But
you pass child,
say it again.
If you pass child development 110, like what do you have to take?
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Let's focus on this, and then we can do academic advisement later. Okay, good. All right. So
the OER book was for next semester, right? Not this semester. This semester we're doing the other.
Yeah, we're sticking with Burns. We're sticking with the blue Burns. Trust me, it is a good book. I'd be sad to see it go. It's gonna go from Bronfenbrenner is like 90% of the book to Bronfenbrenner is like 20% of the book. He's kind of like a little grandpa type. So I'm like kind of emotionally like attached to this guy. You know, it's like he actually helped create the first 5 and Federal Head Start back in the 60s and 70s. So that's why I'm like, oh, he's like a little grandpa guy who like kind of set up a lot of stuff. And now I'm like, he's not going away. We're just making him like this and bringing in other theorists. That's fine. But right now you guys get like this, like kind of like the founder, like the grandpa, right? Like the grandpa of child development. He's great. He's great. So contacting me, or I skipped academic honesty. Long and the short of it is don't cheat. You don't want to do it. I don't want to have to deal with it. Just don't. This class is not like that. Not like that. Okay. I ask heavily your opinion. What do you think about this theory? What do you think about that theory? How would that theory apply in this situation? It's not a research class. Don't cheat. Course policies, contact me using inbox first, because when it comes to Canvas inbox, it also goes to my email, right? But if you just send it by email, it just goes to my email. So do it in Canvas inbox, it goes both places. Okay, in the morning, I wake up, I check my Canvas inbox first, not my email. You guys first. Liliana, jump in. You have your hand raised. Oh, is it in the chat?
Sorry.
No mind tap. No mind tap. No mind tap.
Going back to the book, is it the book that they're selling at the bookstore?
Yes.
Can I go bring it? Because I already got it. Can I just make sure that it is the same one?
Here, look. I put the picture right here on the first page of the syllabus. And
okay.
I put the ISBN. They've been selling this book since before I got here, and I've been here for 5 years.
Okay. Okay. I don't know what the cover looks like, but I know I got a book. For me, it's a little easier to use the book than reading it online.
Here, yeah. That's why I have it.
Okay.
Same here too.
I just wanted to make sure that it was the same book. Okay.
Yeah, they've been selling this book. We haven't switched this book for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
It's just
all right.
Next semester. So you guys are like the tail end of it.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah, absolutely. But just check those ISBN numbers on the back. But yeah, we've been on 10th edition for quite some time. Some time. Yeah. In fact, she's coming out with a new book and we're like, sorry, we got to go with the free one.
And it's free for this semester, right?
What do you mean?
The book.
Free? Not this semester.
Oh no.
You
Okay.
have to buy a book.
Oh, okay. Because that's what I was reading on the course text and materials. It's with blue. All these all books are free in this semester.
Well, if you have a program that you're working with, they can help you buy the books. That's what they mean. We don't give this book for free. But if you're working with a program, maybe like the Future Teachers Program, like Pathways to Teaching, they have books on loan.
Oh, okay. Can I find this at the library too? Here in
I do believe there's some at the library, but I'm not 100% sure. Do me a favor, ask the library, and if they say no, then email me.
Okay, I will.
They have it at the bookstore.
Yeah, they have it at the bookstore, but
And
what
yeah,
she's
you have to
saying
pay.
is that sometimes there's programs that you qualify for, maybe EOP, CalWorks, whatever, international students that have a book loan program. If you're going to be a future teacher, you can contact the Pathways to Teaching program. I'll give you Caroline's information in here. It's in there. When it says academic advisement, Caroline's information is in our module.
So Pathways to Teaching does book loaning? Oh, awesome.
But it's only for the Pathways classes,
Mhm.
right? But
This
they
is-
don't have like Anthropology 205 or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Maybe sometimes, but you have to contact them and see what they have.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because there's certain programs they do have that. And so also there's like the like some of the, tuition is free for the first 2 years if you just came out of high school. There's programs like that, but I don't know all the ins and outs of all of those. Contact the bookstore. Sometimes you get a credit in the books. I don't know. So I don't want to talk about things that are going to be confusing, but reach out and send me an email. We'll figure it out.
Okay, thank you.
Good? Yeah, of course, of course. But again, you will not need the book till next week. So this is the week to get the book, but you don't need it until next week. Yeah, cool. That's why I do this first week is just like, take a breath, get ready, get your book, like that kind of stuff. Like just get ready. Let's get ready. Let's get ready.
This week is just to do the preps, right?
Yeah, just prep stuff.
Read and watch.
Yeah, and then next week is all.
And complete the activities.
Yeah, we'll get to that, Yuri. Yeah, this week is all just complete prep activities. Yes. Again, resilience focused education. This talks about you as a person who has experienced trauma, but how do we still learn even though we're still going through a few things? Again, a traumatized brain is not learning brain. So we need to keep ourselves in a good place so we can also learn. Okay. So again, this resilience focused initiative, this is something that we started during the pandemic, and we're trying to make sure that everybody has the supports they need so they can learn, so they can. That's policies, we've kind of been through this. Educational support needs, we have pantry, we have this, L9, we have this. Additional resources for students. Please read all through all these things. And again, and we did this piece right here with that with our days to drop and whatnot. Okay. Academic honesty, don't cheat. Contact me through inbox, attendance and participation. I do not take attendance.
Don't cheat on like what? What are you trying to say?
I didn't understand your question. Honey.
Don't cheat on what? What are you trying
Don't
to say?
cheat on anything.
Like test.
Don't cheat on anything.
Oh.
Do not cheat in my class. Do not cheat in any college class. Do not cheat in any high school class. Do not cheat. Do not steal an answer from somebody else. Do not steal an answer from a book.
Unless it's going to be like an open book test or
Well, yeah,
quiz?
but an open book test, I've already said it's an open book test.
Oh, okay.
You're not
So-
stealing if you own the book,
Okay, that's
right? If you
Sorry
have
for
a
the
book and I said,
confusion.
please use your book, that's not stealing.
okay.
That's a resource. That's a reference. Do you know,
Also, you could use
looking
that.
through a book to find the answer is actually learning? Yeah, that's why I do it like that. Just going through the motions of taking a test, even if you're like, what was that? Where was that? Even like search key. You have to look it up. It's going through your brain and you connect it and then you put it on the test. That is a learning activity. That's why I do it like that.
Professor? Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
go ahead.
So you kept saying that the attendance, so you said that you don't take attendance, but class is still mandatory in person, or how do you go about that? Because I just want to make sure I wouldn't be missing anything if I wouldn't be able to make the class.
Okay,
That wouldn't
so
be over.
the format of the class is in person. Even though you come in person, I don't take attendance. You're an adult. That's the difference between college and high school, right? Come, because you will learn. We do activities in class. I put things together. We do like art projects and posters, and we get silly in class. We do chalk on the ground outside. We do all kinds of stuff. But you don't
Okay.
have to come. Like, especially, I want to be clear about this. If you feel like you have COVID, please don't come. I don't.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask you. You don't have to give me a note. Just say I'm not feeling. Let me know ahead of time. I'm not feeling well today. You could have had an asthma attack. You could have had an allergy attack. You could have food poisoning. Please don't come. Right? Be safe.
Okay.
Right? But I'm not going to
Yeah.
penalize you. I literally don't take points off. However,
Right.
in class, sometimes we do little activities and everybody gets like 5 points for the day. And it's just like, doing something.
Yeah.
But trust me, even if you missed every single class, that's like 15 classes at 5 points. That's 45 points. That's not even going to drop a grade.
Right, of course. No, I just wanted to check because sometimes hybrid classes, the in-person is just there for people who are visual or who are like kind of, they learn differently,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
the same material. I just wanted to see, but it seems like the quizzes and tests are taken online,
Yep.
but it just in person will be studying the material
Yeah.
that we'll need.
So think about it like you could take this whole class and never say a word to me.
Online, technically you can take it online, but it's highly recommended to come.
And by
in
the
class.
way, I set this up way before the pandemic. You know why? Because let's say you're in class, but you just missed a class. Let's say next week you missed a class.
Right.
And that happens because you have a dentist appointment or whatever, right?
Hmm.
It shouldn't throw you so far off. You should have access to all the materials at any given time.
Exactly.
You have your book.
Right.
I have all the PowerPoints on there. Some of them I recorded, right? And so I want you guys to still be able to move forward, even if you don't come. I don't
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because trust me, I want people to be able to be like, hey, I'm visiting my grandma in Albuquerque for like a month, and I still took your class. Awesome.
Right. Yeah. Well, even then, I mean, you shouldn't catch a cold and it be detrimental to your grade. I mean, I agree with that. I think that's pretty fair and smart. But okay, cool. I just wanted to,
Learning
right.
doesn't just happen in a classroom. I think
Of course.
there's a weird fallacy on that. Like, I can only learn stuff when I have a book and I'm sitting in a classroom. Nope. In fact, this sociology class shows you that the learning is happening constantly outside of a classroom. That's the point of it. So I was doing this beforehand. I moved everything to online, like basically choose your own adventure is what I say. It's like all the stuff's in there. If you are dedicated and motivated, you got this. I'm not, right? My son will call me Professor Mommy. I'm not your Professor Mommy. Like, here's this thing. I'm going to give it to you. In high school, I would be like, you need to do this. You need to turn this. You need to look like this, blah, blah. This is not that. And this is not the 4-year either. We're right in between. So you're practicing your own set of skills. So if you want to transfer, not everybody transfers. Let's just get our AA or our certificate and go to work. But if you want to transfer, or even if not, you're building skills that you take with you. Right? That's the difference between, somebody forcing you to do something versus something you want to do. Yeah. So I do literally, I'm very big on the choose your own adventure. Choose your own adventure. Sometimes I need, as a student, because I'm still a student, sometimes I take classes, I want to be in person and I want hands-on stuff, but sometimes I'm like, I'm an introvert. I really am. And I just let me learn it on my own thing. Sometimes I'm like, Monday, day one, I'm doing it all. Sometimes I'm like, Sunday, when is it due? God, okay, I'm not going to get it done. I'm going to email a teacher. I'm not going to get it done. Right? So life is what life is. Life is what life is. And so I'm trying to give you guys options. I don't want to give you too many options to where you let people get like kind of lazy about it. And that happens. Like, oh, she's so chill. But it's not my grade. It's your grade. Yeah. So again, go for what you want. I'm here to support you in your goals. When somebody sets your goals for you, those aren't your goals. Right? Right. So I really want people to start shifting between what you're told to learn versus co-creating an experience of you are learning together. We're all learning together. The difference? Is it learning or is it just hammer down the content and vomit it back on the test? No. So especially this class is a little bit more thinking. It's a little bit more thinking, but it's not math thinking. It's human thinking, right? Make sense? Cool. Yeah, jump with these questions are great. I love it. So when you come to class, I put attendance and
Well,
participation.
thank you, Professor.
Yeah. So
So
when you come to class,
sorry, so you're telling us with this that in-person classes are gonna be like an extra support for everything in general?
so this is what I typically do. Next week, when you come to class, I'm suggesting everybody come to next week if you can. It'll give you a feel for what we're doing. Okay. You're gonna bring like some papers with you that we're gonna talk about today. It's a report. It's kind of like your learning styles and your brain hemisphere, blah, blah. We'll talk about that. Bring that with you. We're gonna do a little activity in class. I'm gonna walk you through chapter 1. I'm gonna I'll talk a little bit about what's in there, but I'm not gonna do a full massive lecture. I only have 90 minutes. I can't do a lecture and an activity in 90 minutes. Trust me, it's not gonna happen. But I have a pretty massive lecture on there in PowerPoint. Yeah. So I'm basically gonna give you the support. So I do tell people like, so we meet on Tuesday, it would be kind of smart to like look, you don't have to read the whole chapter, but kind of skim through it and be like, oh, this is weird. I don't understand this part, but maybe I do understand that part, but I have questions on that part. So if you're prepared and you can hammer out the questions, then I'll answer them for you. Yeah. So it's one of these things. So yes, it's kind of like extra support where I'm kind of giving a mini lecture, doing an activity where it all blends together, where it sort of makes sense into your brain and your body when you're in person. But again, I can't force you to be there. There's no penalty if you don't come. There's a little bit of a bonus because every once in a while I'll be like, hey, okay, the test is coming up and here's a sneak peek of the essay. Or, hey, when you're doing your discussion board, don't forget this part. So I'm doing that kind of stuff. And my philosophy is also, you need to sit with the materials more than once. So if you're just looking at it, like skimming through it on Monday, and maybe right before class, you read a little bit more, and then you come to class and you get a little bit more, and then you work on your notes, and then you're like, oh, now I get it. This is what she said. And then you read the PowerPoint and do more and more notes. And then you turn in your notes and then you do a reflection. We have that every week. And then you take the quiz. You could do it. You're getting the same material in different ways. Because if you just learn it, if you look at it once, you're not going to understand it. You're not going to get it. It's not going to sink in. So little tidbits here and there, it's like making a recipe, right? You're like, oh, I want to make a pizza, but here's some flour and some pizza some like pizza, like pepperoni over there. You got to get those things together, right? And you got to do them in a process, little by little by little, then you have a pizza, right? So, but again, I don't know your specific process. Some people are like, I need a lot of professor. I need a lot of ongoing. I need a lot of face-to-face. That's cool. We have 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's my process and my situation, but now with this that you're talking, I feel relieved because I'm a person that prefers to be in class in person. I think it's better.
I think so too.
That's where, yeah, that's how I was that's
Yeah,
how
but also I've been in classes that are super duper boring too. So, and I didn't learn
Yeah,
anything.
no.
So I went home and talked out loud to myself. It was like, what does he mean by independent variable? I don't get that. And then later I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah,
But yeah, to me, interaction is huge, especially in this class.
yeah.
It's a good- it'd be a little-
I agree with it, and I think it's gonna work better. But it's just my situation that I was about to like break up today because I'm like, I'm not gonna make it again, and
You're gonna
I
be
have
okay.
a situation going on, and I'm like, how
You're
am I
gonna be
gonna do
okay.
it?
So if you come to one class and then you skip another one, that's okay too.
Okay.
Yeah, I prefer to be in class too.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm one of the only professors in our entire division who's doing face-to-face classes because a lot of students don't want it, but there's a good section of you who do. That's why I'm here. But forgive me, like my voice was super bad. It was even worse yesterday. I needed to take a week away and then come in. And it's okay taking a week away because it's just prep stuff. It's not a lecture. It's not chapter 1. So I appreciate your guys' flexibility. Just know that I am flexible, but you also have to know yourself and which way to manage the flexibility, right? Yeah. So it's this process of being an adult, learning who you are, learning yourself, learning what works best for you. I can tell you right now, I failed this first time I took statistics. I went to every single class. I went to every single study hall. I went to office hours with the teacher. I went, guess what? It was from 7 to 10 on Thursday nights after I was working all day at a bank. I was exhausted.
Six
It
is
wasn't a good,
difficult.
yeah, it wasn't, it's, that's as hard. It's just not my gig. I mean, I'm not horrible at math, but like, that's like a different language, right? So I guess
Math is
what?
great.
It's so funny. I got a D-, and I was like, oh my God, please. I worked so hard. I begged the teacher. I said, we change my grade. He's like, sure, change it to a D+. So guess
That was
what?
me.
Had he changed it to a C, I couldn't have retaken the class. At a D, you can retake the class. Guess what? I took it the next semester, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 1 hour each. Boop, 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 got an A. I found the right time for my brain, consistent. Yeah, 3 hours at night. What the hell was I thinking? Right? But I didn't know that because I was young. So it's okay. You figure out who you are, how you learn best, how you need it best, right? And even in the class that I got an A in, I skipped a couple times. But I knew how to keep up. So again, these are the process of college, of learning yourself and learning the content. And that's why I'm so blessed, because our content helps you be a better version of you. This is not just like, again, statistics that you might never, ever use, never. And no offense to statistics, because we need it in our society. But this stuff helps you be a better you. As you learn the stuff about kids, you're learning it about you while you're developing yourself as a human, as an adult. I love this stuff. I love it. To me, it's like, there's nothing better in life than just to be the best version of you. And that never stops. Or you could just sit in front of the TV and drink your face off every day, but I choose not to do that. And you guys choose not to do your ear. So I really appreciate the energy so far. I really do. I love this class.
By the way,
Well, let me finish this up and then I'll let you. So online etiquette is like, when we're working together online in discussion boards, be cool, be respectful, be kind, be collegiate. So yes, Yuri?
what if you're like sick or going to be out of town that you have to be absent?
Just email me ahead of time.
Like email it in the inbox, right?
Yeah. And I'll just be like, hey, thanks for letting me know. Make sure you keep up. And here's a handout I might hand out on Tuesday. You might miss.
Oh, like,
Yeah. So
are you
let
gonna
me
give
know.
us some handouts?
Yeah. Every once in a while I have handouts. Yeah.
Or would it be possible if you set up a Zoom meeting?
Of course. But if you're just going to miss a class, I'm not going to re-lecture.
No, like a week or something.
Well, when it comes up, just email me.
Okay.
Figure it out. Yeah.
We
Every
can
once in a
figure it
while,
out.
I have somebody who emails me and says, well, I missed the lecture. So can you do a Zoom with me and tell me the lecture? Nope. No.
We actually could do a phone call with you too.
Yeah, we can do phone calls, but I'm not going to re-lecture.
How would we do a phone call?
I'm not going to repeat the entire class. If you couldn't make it that time, that's not my job to repeat the entire class. You just can keep up with the materials that I give you.
We can email you too, right?
Yeah. And we can talk, but I'm not going to re-lecture.
How would we do like a phone
Stop
call?
for a second, Yuri. Stop
Sorry.
for a second. You need to listen. When you ask a question, you need to listen to the answer.
Okay.
And then you can ask another question if it's on the right topic.
Okay.
You understand?
Mhm.
So listen to me. I need you to understand this. This is for everybody, not just you. If you miss a class, it's okay. But I will not make that class up for you. You make the adult decision to miss a class for whatever reason, sick, whatever. But it is not my responsibility to re-lecture the class that you chose to miss. That's exactly what I'm saying. And every once in a while, somebody says, I missed the class, so can you tell me the lecture? No, it's okay if you miss a lecture. You still have a book, you still have PowerPoints, and sometimes I have videos. So I don't need to redo it when there's 3 resources for you to help you keep up. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Again, it's like me telling the library, I missed the due dates. Can you tell me about due dates again? And can you not charge me the fees? No, I have consequences for my choices, like every adult on the planet. Right?
Mhm.
Good. Okay, now ask your question.
How would we do like a phone call or something?
We'll figure it out when we need to figure it out.
Okay.
If I need to share my cell phone with you, I can do that, but that's my choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can also do it. We can do a video on Pronto. We can do a Zoom. We'll figure it out. It's okay.
But we have to email you first, right?
Man, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I'm not a mind reader. I really am not. More communication is better than not too much, but don't go over So you may have noticed if you emailed me yesterday, I kind of cut it off. I tried it, you know, bedtime at our house is between 8 and 9, which is kind of early. So if I stay up later than that, then I can't sleep. So I tried to dinner, get the kids doing his homework. I'm doing my homework. You see what I'm saying? I have a thing. So I put on here 8 to 8 Monday through Friday. If
8
you
to 8.
email me after, that's fine. I won't get to it.
Oh.
Do you see what I'm saying? I cannot be available 24/7 and neither should you. We are all on digital overload. And just because I have a cell phone doesn't mean that I'm going to answer that text. Same with you. It's okay to put boundaries because I'm a professor. I'm not your life coach. Right? Right? I have to be clear with my roles and responsibilities, and so do you. That's for everybody. Make sense? Okay, good. All right, so let's go on to assignments, okay? So all assignments are submitted on Canvas. So again, you don't have to be in class to submit an assignment. In fact, I don't want paper assignments. Save a tree. Let's just keep it all together. Keep it all simple, yeah? Top-down grading policy means I assume everybody's trying to do their best. And so if it's a 10-point essay, I'm assuming you're going for the 10, but it's okay if you're not. You know, it's okay. And by the way, a 7 out of 10 on an essay is not bad. You just missed 3 whole points, big deal. But if your essay is killer, I can give it an 11 or 12 or 15. Because guess what? I can. I'm the professor. I can give extra points. I love giving extra points. Trust me on this one. Yeah.
How do you submit assignments in Canvas?
I'll show you.
Okay.
Hold on. So if there's an error in the date, an error in a blip, just let me know. I have an oops finder category. It's like 0.5. If you're the one who tells me all the things that I did wrong, no problem. I want it fixed, but you might get your 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 kind of situation. So let's keep each other accountable. So here's one thing that people have a hard time understanding. In my class, I do not take off points for late work. I do not take off points for late work. I do not take off points for late work. However, there's certain parameters, okay? If you're gonna be late, just let me know. Hey, I'm not gonna get that quiz in by Sunday at 8. Can I turn it in Monday or Tuesday? Sure, no problem. Just keep on track. I just wanna have communication with you. I do not accept discussion boards late. So when I say discussion board, the first post is due by Wednesday, I mean it, okay? The first week, we're still learning, so I'm a little bit flexible. But after that Wednesday date, if that post comes up and it's not there on Wednesday night, zeros go on the grade sheet on Thursday morning. I blocked it in my calendar so I can do it. Boom, 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 boom. By the way, it's okay. Just take the week off of the discussion board. It's no big deal. It's 15 points. That is not going to make or break your grade. I have not had anybody fail this class because of 15 points. I've not had anybody miss an A by 15 points. So just pick your battles and just plan time-wise better next week. Remember, if you're getting you're showing me notes and I'm giving you an extra 1 or 2 points every week, that adds up to the 15 points that you lost. Right? So let's take a deep breath. I don't penalize you for being late. Just let me know. But discussion boards, they take a lot of time and they take a lot of time to do right. So if you're going to do it right. If you're going to do it, take the break, take it off. 15 whole points in here. Let's calculate it real quick. We have 12 chapters, 15 points on a discussion board. It's, what is that, like 200 points, something like that? You can still get an A in this class. A in this class? Yeah, like maybe an A if you do the extra credit on other things. Definitely a B. Just if you skipped them all. So make your choices. Sometimes it's just that week you're just like, I am not doing this. She's making us go around the house and find items to make this circle pattern that looks like this theory. She's crazy. I'm not doing that. I'm fine. Yeah. I go around the house and make me a Bronfenbrenner model, this image with stuff from around the house. I've seen tortillas, I've seen ping pongs, I've seen come on, it's fun. We're having a good time. And you know what, since we're in class, we're gonna do something like that in class. Isn't that great? It's fun. It's fun stuff. All right, so every week we have outlines. We have a discussion board, and we have a personal reflection based on that chapter. Okay, the outline's 10 points. We'll We'll talk about them next week. I know last class I tried to discuss them and people got nervous. It's just a 10-point outline. You get to do it your way.
Outline for what?
Every chapter needs an outline. And you're going to submit that. And we'll talk about that next week when you come to class.
Do you mind helping us on that?
Of course, I'd love to help you on it, but maybe not today. I'm just giving you
Okay,
an overview.
not this week, right?
Not this week, because we're not doing outlines this week.
Because of preps, right?
Yeah, it's just prep week. Next week is outlines. Okay.
Okay,
And when you're in
sorry.
class, then I'll show you what outlines are. Kat, jump in.
It says like we can see the different outline. Wait, I'm trying to see. Oh yeah. See Canvas for details for the format. Where on Canvas do we look at for the?
Well, you won't see module 1 yet.
Oh, okay. Well, for the form, like the outline format is not on Canvas yet.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it
But
is.
you don't see you're not seeing chapter or module 1 yet.
Uh-huh.
It's
But
in
if we-
module 1. It's in module 1,
Mhm.
and that opens up Monday.
But if we start reading the first chapter, we could technically start writing our outline.
I'm just going to tell you right now, follow the headers, make like 3 bullets under each header, and you're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, a bulleted outline is an outline for me. But you can do Roman numerals, you can do, you type them, you can handwrite them.
How many pages would you do?
Typed, single space, about 2 pages.
What about like paper?
If you're handwriting on paper, 4 pages. Because right, your handwriting is bigger, right? If you want to do
Mhm.
glitter puffy pen, that's cool. Take a picture, upload this.
How would we make an outline like while we read our like chapters?
I have videos in there that will tell you how to do it.
Can
From
you
other
help
college
us
students.
how to find that out?
Yeah, when the module opens, you'll see all the videos.
Okay.
For right now, if you just want to get ahead, just do your best. I'm pretty flexible on the first couple. Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
was like saying
just like a child, how many times do you teach them how to tie their shoe? Well, I told you 3 times. How come you can't do it? No, it takes a while. It takes a while. Why would I be teaching you about children's development and I'm being like a hard ass with you guys? No, it takes a minute to like find your format. But if you're a graphic designer, you could do it in a 1-page graphic design. I don't care. But I'm not going to get super specific on it right now, but I will do that when we come to class.
Oh yeah, modules, they're not on Canvas yet, right?
Modules are not on Canvas left, just the first one. And
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
go back
not
to
until Monday, right?
right. We'll go back to the modules,
Mhm.
prep module after I go through this.
Okay.
All right. So then we also have a discussion board, like in every class, 15 points, pretty straightforward. Personal reflection journal. Hey, what did I actually learn this week? Can I put it into my own words? Yeah. So again, this is called a formative assessment, right? Then, but I want you to bring your attention to this. The lowest outline will be dropped at the end of the semester. So if there's a week that you couldn't do your outline, everybody gets a +10 at the end. Because I'm telling you what, I've seen people miss one outline and be like, oh my God, I have to drop the whole class. Stop it. Stop. This is a retention tool. Skip an outline. It's okay. Sometimes weeks are hairy and you're like, oh my God, I thought today was Wednesday and it's Thursday. I get it. I'm giving you guys options. Same thing with the discussion board. I dropped the lowest one. It's 15 whole points. Right? Last one, the reflection journal, 15 whole points. If you skipped a week. So again, there's a crisis in the family. I use the example of like, oh, my dog's grandma died. My grandma's dog died, right? It could be either one of those or something really worse. Take the week off. But if you don't take the week off, you get the points anyway. So sometimes people can leave this class with like 103%. You don't need to, but you can. Kat,
The outlines are usually due on by Friday nights. And then are the personal reflection journals also due by Friday? Sunday?
End of the week,
What's due on Friday? Outlines?
the outlines.
By what time? 8, right?
Everything that's an assignment in this class is due by 8 p.m.
Okay.
Because I'm a mom and I'm saying like, get it done early because I know your other professors are saying 11:59. So get my stuff out of the way. and if you're gonna lose sleep, you're gonna lose sleep on other classes. You know, you lose sleep on my class, right? So yeah, guess what? And then I have these optional feedback surveys. Like, it's optional, but I give like 1 to 3 points. It's like I call it keep, toss, or tweak. Keep this, toss this, tweak this, whatever. Right. I just want to give you guys a voice. Even if you say, oh, these concepts were weird. Why are you making us learn German terms? I'm not, we're gonna cross those out, but there's 2 terms in there, German. Like I'm Germans and I already know that's torture. So we're skipping that. Bah, bah, bah. Done.
By the way, to take notes on the paper, do you mind if we use like a pencil to write it with or pen?
As long as I can read it. And if you have microscopic writing, it's not going to work.
Or you don't care?
Well, I don't mind it, but can I read it?
Oh, only if you can read it?
Yeah. So sometimes people put it down on their bed and they take this picture from way up here. I can't read it.
Oh,
Every once in a while, I'll scroll in. I'm like, these are your anthropology notes. Don't try to hustle me. Again, I have a teenager with autism. I get hustled all the time. I ain't having it. Okay, so don't do it. I see it a mile away. It's hilarious. Even he's asked me, he's like, I can hear him. I said, are you eating cookie? He opened this thing. I said, did you just open a slice of cheesecake? Yeah. How did you hear that? Because I'm a mom. You're not having cheesecake for breakfast. Well, you didn't say I couldn't. You see the world I live in? I see it coming at home. I see it coming here. Don't do it. Don't do it. Right? So here's our big assignments. We have a virtual family. We're going to use what we learned and apply to the virtual family. Okay. You get to actually pretend that you are a teacher or you own a preschool and you're working with an actual family. I have a video on these. I have examples on these. I show you students examples. I will walk you through this. This will take us the whole semester to do. And I do it in sections. So you're not doing this massive assignment right at the end and stressed out. There's like these little 10-point pieces and you build it and then you build these little 10-point pieces and at the end you put a presentation together. Yeah. The child observation, you're going to observe a kid in here and talk about the influences on a child. We need more eyes on kids. I need you guys to understand what this actually means. Okay. And then the course summary essay is just kind of like, what did we learn? Just like, it's not much. It's like 2 pages, 3 questions and 2 pages each question. Right. And we're going to build these things as we go. I'm not going to spring it on you. It's not a surprise. We're going to repeat and repeat and learn and learn. Okay. And I really like the questions already. It sounds like you guys are already ready to like get in there. I'm really excited. Okay. Assessments. Yes, I do have quizzes and tests. But look here, I put the lowest quiz we dropped. So that's 10 points right there. Unlimited time, unlimited chances. You may work with a friend, but on the exam, do not write the same essay. That's plagiarism. Don't copy your friend. Work together, but don't shoot each other in the foot by copying each other.
just the essay part we have to do our own?
Yes.
And the rest you can do it like on
Friend.
an open book and
Yes.
do it a
Look.
friend.
You can take it 37 times. So everybody should be getting a 10 on every quiz, and everybody should be getting at least 50 points on every exam. Now, mind you, I know right now I said essay, and that threw chills down some of your spines. And some people skip the 10 points on that essay on that test. If you're okay with a 40 out of 50 on an exam, good on you. That's a B. Keep going forward. Get your points out. Because I know not everybody's a good writer and people get freaked out. We're not here to freak you out. If you're freaked out and you're stressed out, you're not learning. So choose your own adventure here. Yeah? Okay, good. Extra credit, I do have some stuff. A portfolio is kind of like LinkedIn. I do walk you guys through it. Up to 40 points. That's like a test right there, right? It's up to you. It just helps you in the end. A lot of people don't like it, but I'm just trying to help you be more prepared for your future career, even if that career starts tomorrow, right? So these are the pieces that we do in this class. It's about 1,200 points in this class. So you can miss 120 points and get an A. That's a lot of points. Yeah, right. But it's the same thing every week. So we'll get through that. So here's our schedule. This week, look, we're all just getting ready to learn. Next week, we'll do chapter 1 in class. But the module opens at 8 in the morning. You can work on it before you even get to class on Tuesday, right? By Wednesday, initial posts. By Friday, chapter outline. By Sunday, you're going to do your discussion board, wrap that up, get your replies. I give you all the examples. I'll go through it all next week, okay? You're going to have a reflection. What did I learn? How am I going to use this? And what's another resource? Here's your 10-point quiz, 5 points true false, 5 points multiple choice, open book, unlimited time, and limited chances. Again, if you're not getting a 10 on a quiz, that's on you. And then feedback is optional. That's why I put in italics.
Where do you find all that?
It's all on Canvas. We'll go there in a second. Go there and say,
It won't be hard to find it, right?
no, super easy. I am hiding it this
Mm.
week on purpose.
Oh, just
Hiding it
hiding
this
right
week
now.
on
Okay.
purpose. Hiding it this week on purpose because I want you to focus on prep stuff. Okay. So again, look at chapter 1 and chapter 2 is one unit. I just put the units together. They're the similar concepts. Now, of course, in every class, the beginning parts are important, right? So I'm going to need you to get these parts together. So we have 2 chapters in an exam. I will literally give you sneak peeks of the exam. I'll walk you through it. I'll give you some tips and tricks. You're going to be okay. I promise you. Okay. But again, we do the same thing every week. Module opens, come to class on Tuesday, turn in your notes by Friday, and then the rest by Sunday. You could do it all on Monday if that's your gig. You could do it all right after class when it's fresh in your head. It's up to you. Okay. On week 4, we have a week that's just assignments and projects. We will sneak peek all of we'll start our final projects on week 4.
Would that be individual?
Yeah, I don't do group projects.
How does that
Right,
work
it's
for
not-
the projects?
So assignments and projects are the projects that you are going to be doing.
Like at home?
But I'll walk you through all the instructions. I'll give you examples. Yeah. It's
should-
great to get instructions face to face, right? So some of you are like, I don't need to come to class, but maybe I'm coming on week 4. Yep.
Shouldn't be too bad, right?
No, but again, you just got to come and figure it out. Some people think it's the end of the world. Some people is like, man, this is easy. Somewhere in the middle is my job. Yeah. And then we jump into the family. We talk about the environment of the family and the environment of parents and the environment of people who aren't parents, but act like parents, right? So grandparents, aunts, uncles, right? Daycare providers. And then we have a test at the end of that. Notice I don't put any assignments due on the day of a test, on the week of a test. I want you to focus on the test, not the assignment. So you have these little parts, these little 10-point parts, other weeks, but if it's a week of a test, don't worry about it. Okay, I want you to focus, okay? Then we have another chapter that talks about schools and teaching. You guys all know that you've had a school and a teacher affect who you are today, right? So again, same thing. Module opens on Monday. We meet on Tuesdays. Initial discussion board on Wednesdays. Do your notes and outline by Fridays, and the rest is due by Sundays. See? Then on week 10, we have another, we're going to stop and like make sure all of our assignments and projects are up to date. Some of you will be behind. Some of you are like, well, I want to get it done early. We have a week, we'll meet in class, and that's all we will do is talk about the assignments, how far you come, what questions you have, how to make it successful. Okay. Then we have another unit that talks about peers, meeting, media, and ecology of the community. Okay. On this one, I put no class meeting, but I think that was from a Monday class. So let me go back and check that one. Oh, no. 11/11 is Veterans Day.
Is there homework assignments on that day?
The campus is closed. I will not be working that day. It is a federal holiday. I will never, ever expect you to turn something in on a holiday. It'll either be it'll most likely be the day after.
No assigned work done, right?
Well, you can do your projects.
Oh, okay.
You can do whatever you want. You won't have a due date on that day. That is a federal holiday, and I would like to respect the people that served our country in the armed forces.
Everything should be in Canvas done, right?
Everything's already there. Okay. Then again, we have a quiz at the end of, exam at the end of that unit. Then guess what? The week that we have Thanksgiving, I call it a work week. Kat, you want to jump in?
For that week of 11/11, you said the chapter outline will probably be due before, like on Thursday instead of Friday?
So 11/11 is a Tuesday, I believe, right?
No, 11/11, I just checked, it's Friday.
Oh yeah, then turn it in. I'll put Saturday due date.
Okay.
I would never make you guys do it earlier.
Okay.
Come on. We all need a little bit of extra time here and there. Come on. And by the way, even if it was due on Friday, the week prior, and you were like, man, I'm not getting that in until Saturday. I'm okay. Let me know. Yeah, see, it's weird, but it's like, oh, well, this might work out. So then our last work week is going to be the Thanksgiving break. So notice I didn't really assign a lot of stuff, but I probably will adjust that because the break doesn't include Sundays. So I usually take off well, you know what? There's no chapter there. So nothing's assigned. There's no chapter there. There's
So no homework at all?
No, but we're going to come to class, but I want you guys, we'll talk about your projects, because after Thanksgiving, we have 2 weeks to get all your stuff in. Yeah. So you got to like have it mostly done by that Thanksgiving week. But take the time with your family, for the love of Pete. You know, there's like no spring break in the fall. We get 2-3 days. We get 24, 25, 26. That's barely enough. Oh, and by the way, that week, my son's off the whole week, so he might be coming to class with me. So you're warned. He just thinks he's the coolest guy. He's like such a teenager with those comments under his breath. So yeah, I bring him to class, and you see me roll my eyes and just like, teenagers. Right? It is what it is. Right? And so then we have we do have one last unit those last 3 weeks, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's the outcomes of all this stuff. Now that we've talked about the community and media and peers and teachers and families and blah, 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 then we're like, what's the point? Like, okay, because hopefully we've learned how to be emotionally regulated and be smart and be a thinking adult as we move forward as an independent person in our society, right? Same thing, our behavior and our social interactions are shaped. So all the Karens that are out there that you've seen on YouTube, but we've all seen them, they don't just show up that one day. They were developed, right? Right? When you have a kid who's having a temper tantrum at 11, is it because their environment allows them to have a temper tantrum? Yeah, probably. Right? So the outcomes. So these are a little bit shorter, quicker, and it puts it all together. And it's nice. It's a nice way to wrap it up. But remember, the very last day is 11:59 on the December 11th. I cannot change that day. I will not accept late work. Even if everyone's like, oh, you've been accepting late work all semester. Not on the last day. The class is 4 months long. That is not 4 months and 10 minutes. It's not 4 months and 2 days. Trust me. A lot of people try to slip it in there. No, I won't do it. I won't do it. Right? Boundaries. So there's a lot here, but you guys have access to this. I need to go back and like fine tooth comb this a little bit more. Once I update it, I will send it back out to you guys and update the syllabus down. Good. So let's go back to Canvas. Let's see. We're right at time. So if you guys have to go, I completely understand. But I just want to show you what we're doing this week. Now, when I show you this stuff, so wait, chat real quick. No group projects? No. For the love of God. No, I've tried, and I think I can do those upper division classes, but I'm not confident in doing those yet. There's too many variables right now. What if somebody gets sick with COVID? With somebody, blah, blah, blah. Mine do not match this numbers. I have a few minutes. Yeah, absolutely. We can talk after. Yeah, I can see that my numbers are off. So yeah, let's talk. Okay, so when you come to I'm going to hit the student view, so you only see what you get to see. So you're going to go to the modules this week, and all you're doing is prep work. That's it. You're going to read through all this business, and I'll kind of walk us through it real quick. And at the end, you're actually going to do these activities. When you see a rocket right here, that means or a discussion board, that means it's something you got to do. When you see a page here, it's just something you got to read. So I did put these due dates to Rita, but that was yesterday. You didn't read it, no big deal. Once you click on it once, it comes off your to-do list. Yeah, it's easy. So again, this prep stuff is saying like, hey, this first one is like, hey, how are you with Canvas? Let me make this a little bit smaller. Hey, how are you with Canvas? Maybe you're great, maybe you're terrible. This gives you resources. Again, I'm not going to read to you. If you need that, we can talk separately, but you get to read through all this stuff, okay? Set up your tech, there's notifications, your profile picture. There's a mobile app, use it. Pronto, please use it. I use Pronto. I'll be at the gas station or the car wash using Pronto. I'll be grading at the car wash. Watch me.
What does Pronto do?
Pronto is, you won't see it right here. I'll show you in a sec. Pronto is like the chat feature.
Chat feature?
It's like a chat box.
Oh.
I'll show you in a sec. Okay. So if you need tech help, this is how SEC has tech help. Excuse me. Managing our mindset. I've already heard from somebody said, I can't do all that. Like, oh, well, I think you can. If you say no to yourself, you're saying no to yourself. You're limiting yourself. You're not letting yourself grow. Okay. There's a video here.
Sorry, that was actually my fault.
No, you don't have, it doesn't have to be you. And it wasn't only you.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people are like, you gave me too much to do. I can't do that. I'm like, no, just take a breath. You can, because all you're doing is reading and watching videos.
I
have
saw the same thing for child development 107 too.
Yeah, so if you've already seen this in 107, just roll through it real quick. You're like, oh, I've already watched that. You don't have to watch it.
Yeah, that's what I was doing for 110.
Yeah, you
Rolling
don't have to watch
quickly.
it.
Uh-huh.
But the self-care, is your self-care quiz going to be different yesterday from today? Probably not, right? But this just keeps in mind, like, what are you doing to maintain your sanity as you go forward, right? Time management, you guys got to get to actually add somebody here. So somebody here use pen and paper to physically write stuff. That's awesome. But remember, like, I want to see your name. Who wrote that? Because who's going to get credit for that later?
That was me.
Yeah, so just go back there and just put like, hi from Kat. I suggest whatever. It's cool. It's okay. And then here's my greetings and welcome again. This one is weird. I see how this means that it's the wrong one here, and that's why it says Monday. So let me erase that. I'll get you the Tuesday one. And this
I was
tells
saying,
you this
why
tells you
does that say number 2 on that?
because it's like the second version of that document. So I don't know. It's something I need to fix on the back side, but that gives me a clue. Why is there 2 of them? So every once in a while, Canvas will, like, trust me, it does this little weird like hiccup and it doubles everything in the whole class. And here I am having to like delete. Trust me, like, you guys haven't even seen the blips that Canvas can do. It's crazy. So a little bit about me. I'm not gonna read that at you. Let's see. And then policies and procedures, same as the syllabus, but I also put it in there so people are like, well, I didn't know. Yeah, you do. Here it is. How to do well in this course. There's a PowerPoint. Watch it. It's real cute. It's fast. Then Title IX discrimination and T-consent. It's important. I want you guys to feel safe as a human being, right?
You just have to read and just watch
just read
videos.
that part.
And that's it, right?
Yeah. These videos are cute. They really are. They're super cute. Well, not the first one so much, but the second 2 are cute. So somebody was asking me about pathways. Okay. Caroline Fortuno, she made the video. Watch the video. Write her stuff down. She's awesome. She's super.
Do we have to contact those people?
It's not mandatory.
Okay.
It's not mandatory. But if you would like a resume, if you would like to get a job, if you would like information on pathways to teaching, if you're going to be a teacher, contact her. Yes.
Only if you want to, right?
Yes. I can't grade that. How do I know if you picked up the phone or emailed her? Right? But why wouldn't you contact somebody who can help you? So again, if I'm giving you these things, they're not just for my health. They don't make me sleep better at night. They're for you guys, right? Okay. So again, Pathways to Teaching has book loans. Why wouldn't you call her, right? So here's your discussion board. So notice we got all the way down to prep 4.1. So this is the stuff that's due Sunday. Try to get their first part in by Wednesday. Okay. So you're going to create a single page document or graphic, like a poster, like a little mini poster.
What's for Wednesday?
You do the first part. If you do the first part by Wednesday, you do the other part by Sunday. Let me read through it and I will answer your questions. Okay. So you're going to create a single page document or graphic, like a little poster, using any resource that you can. Now, some people use Word, some people use Photoshop, some people use PowerPoint, Picasa. You can use slides, you can use Google, whatever. It has to just be a picture, not a link, and not something I'm scrolling down to. Because remember, people are looking at this on their phone. Sometimes people take the whole class on a phone. I don't recommend that, but it's reality. And they're not going to see your link. They're not going to see all these massive pictures. That's going to mess up the whole app, right? So make it easy for someone to interact with you. The point of this is for people to interact with you. But if somebody sees your pictures and they're cute and it's easy to interact with you, they're going to interact with you. But if you make it hard and difficult and it shuts down their phone or like freezes the app, why would somebody interact with that? So again, this is how you develop yourself as an adult and interact. Plus, it's tech. I believe anybody under the age of 30 should be able to do this stuff. My son did his first PowerPoint in the first grade. He was 7. So if you can't do this stuff, that's okay. You haven't learned it yet, Carol Dweck said, but you can do it. You can do it. I made a poster. I use Prezi or maybe Canva, right? So there's all these different options, right? We want to learn about you. We don't want to already be having a difficult challenge with you. If I see a link, I won't grade it. I put it right here. It should say, hi, introducing myself. Embed your document. If there is a link, I will not be graded. If it's an issue with the device, the SCCS on laptops. Call the helpline. If you don't know how to do it. I also gave you how to cite sources. I also gave you all these different ideas right here. You could link to that, link to that, link to that, link to that, link to that. I can't do it for you, but if these options aren't working for you, find something else. This is how college works. In high school, they're like, do this. In college, they're like, here's your goal, get it done, right? So again, here's how to embed an image on Canvas. I put it there for you. Now, in this class, our responses to peers are a little bit different. You have to, again, I mentioned this earlier, when you respond to somebody and you respond to two separate people, that's what you have to do. Reply to peers, two separate people. Say something about their post, say something about their post. But then when somebody says something about your post, you have to answer them as well. So you respond to your peers and then go back and reply to them. This is not just Twitter where you just like tweet something out. You don't care who sees it or how they respond. You know, that's the beauty of Twitter. I mean, you can see responses, but nobody goes back or they block them. I'm just going to say what I'm going to say. This is not this. This is a conversation. You're trying to replicate the classroom, trying to replicate the fact that you guys are sitting, at this point, you're not sitting across from each other, but you will be next week, right? So when you're ready, you hit reply and you do your thing, right? Don't post your stuff under somebody else's post. Hit reply first. And if it gets messed up, I will let you know, we'll fix it. It's okay. Sometimes it just takes a minute to learn this stuff. It's okay. It's okay. It took me a minute to learn it, but I do have a poster I will share. It's a little crazy, not gonna lie. We do have a syllabus scavenger hunt. Super easy. Look, again, you have unlimited time and limited chances. Right? First question. You want to see first question? Where did Professor think to get her degrees? You don't have to answer it now. Right? Was going to tell me, you didn't answer all the questions. That's okay. I'll come back and do it again. I got a 0. Oh my God. I'm going to go back and do it again. So it's, oh, look at those are all the questions. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I got those all wrong. Just go back and take it again. Academic honesty agreement. It's 5 questions. It's called, you are aware that you're not allowed to cheat. You are aware that you shouldn't do this. You agree that you're not going to, it's one of those things. Okay. 5 questions. Takes you like 1 minute, 2 minutes maybe. Last one is a secret to your success. Now, this is the thing I'm going to ask you to take to bring to class next week. You're going to take this survey. You're going to go to personalitymax.com. It gives you, you answer the question, takes you about 10 minutes maybe, and it gives you, here's an example report. It's like a 20-page report. You can print it out or just write down the highlights. It's up to you. So do that. It gives you all these like bar charts.
Bring it to class.
Because I'm gonna say, I want all the introverts on that side of the room and all the extroverts on that side of the room. Yep, we're doing it.
How do you print it out?
It'll tell you.
Oh.
Yeah, take it, it'll tell you. So this is some random person, right? But this tells you their bar charts and tells you that they're a big time introvert. Look at 89%, that's big, right? But that's okay. Introverts are awesome. I'm like right in the middle. My bar is like right in the middle. You know, and so then over here they're J. That doesn't mean they're judgy. This means that they're organized. Judging means that I judge my environment specifically. Don't freak out, people. It says I'm judgy. No, it doesn't say you're judgy. It says you judge your environment specifically. Perceiving are the people who are like, I don't care if it's big. That's cool. See, this person's like 80-20. Sometimes they don't care. It's cool. That's how people are. Again, a pie chart on your some of your other pieces here. So the extroverts is thinking judging. This person's an NF, so it tells them right here. This is that part. This is top intelligence. This is Gardner's multiple intelligence. We will talk about this in children's brains. So why wouldn't I have you do it for yourself? Right? And interpersonal means they're really good with themselves. Linguistic, words, interpersonal, people, music, logic, like math, or even these use a lot of times go together, musical and logical, because music is math, by the way. Naturalist, visual and kinesthetic. I'll share my results with you guys. You're an auditory. This person's auditory learning. This person is left brain. Right? So there's a bunch of different things, right? Your personality type. So you can download this or just have the link. You know, I'm just going to ask you a few questions off of it. You don't have to share it with anybody. But that's it. 4.4. That's it. So that whole thing, I tell people, if it takes that whole module, takes you more than 6 hours, you're doing something wrong. It's going to be more like 2 or 3. It's supposed to be a lot, right? The last thing I'm going to show you right here. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't share the book module because it's not free. You guys go get your book. In my other class, the book is free, so I do show the module, right? But this keeps things nice and clean, nice and simple. So are you guys gonna be ready to go by Tuesday? I think so. I think so. Oh, so we went over time. I appreciate you guys sticking in there. I will make sure that this gets posted in that prep module. I usually I'll put it right here. Right on top of here, I'll put like intro Zoom video. I'll put it right there.
And it will show like model 1, model 2 too.
No, it's just going to be this recording that we did today. It's going to be in there. You will not see module 1 until next week.
Okay.
I'm just going to post this recording so you can see this recording again if you need to.
Okay. For next week, as you say, you're going to put the modules, like where do we find it?
Right under here, where it says modules. Click module.
Oh, just modules. Okay.
Yeah. I know it's like, it takes a minute to get familiar, and you know what? Give it like 2 weeks and you're going to be like zoom all over the place.
For homework, where do you find it?
No, modules.
What about homework assignments?
Modules.
It's still modules. Okay.
Yeah. Everything is posted under module. You can also go to your grade sheet. And let me see what a grade sheet looks like in a student view. So it'll tell you, look right here. So these are all the categories of stuff that we have. There's nothing yet, right? So prep week items, we have stuff that's undone. So wait, what? Oh, this blue, I can click on that and go right there, and click on that and go right there. You can navigate this course from your grade sheet. It's up to you. However you see the universe. And then there's this cool what if feature over here, and I'll teach you guys about that later. Yeah, it's good. So we have a lot of stuff. How about more questions before we go?
I actually have a question. So what bookstore am I able to get the book that we're going to be using all semester?
Bookstore.
The bookstore?
Yeah, our SEC bookstore. If you
Okay.
want to, I tell people to go there first, only because it's our bookstore. It's my homies, right? But if you need to rent it off of somewhere, go for it. Go ahead.
Are we
Okay.
talking about the blue book?
Yeah, the blue book.
Yes.
If you already have it, you're good to go.
Okay.
And I put it on the very front of the syllabus, a little picture of it too, with the ISBN numbers. But if you're going to be a teacher, contact Caroline for Pathways to Teaching.
Right. Thank you so much for today.
Of course, Becca.
For what teacher? You have to.
So I shared with you Caroline Fortuno's information. It's under the academic advisement video. Go back and watch that. She'll share her information there. Contact her, especially if you're going to be a teacher. She runs a program that has book loans, but you already have your book.
Mm-hmm. So I don't need to contact them?
No, only if you want to. Okay, any other questions, Liliana? Thank you for jumping in there. Kat, Alejandra, you got this. Leslie, any questions? Yeah, I lost a few people, but it was good. You guys have any questions at any time, put it in the Canvas inbox. I'm going to get to all those waiting for me right now. Okay, my homework for today is updating that syllabus of all those mistakes that I made, and I will update that and get that to you as soon as possible. Hopefully today. That's my goal. If I do it, then it's done, and I don't have to worry about it.
Is the discussion due date, like, why does it say August 28? I know it's due by
Sunday. So there's 2 parts, but I can only grade 1 part. When I say get it the first part in by Wednesday, it's like a nudge.
Wait,
It's
what's
like
the first part?
No. Listen. I can only grade every assignment once.
Uh-huh.
So it is due on the 28th. But the actual assignment is in parts, right? So get the first part in, which is like your poster, your pictures, right? So if you worked on it today and tomorrow you get it in by 8, right? But there's no grade on that. Meaning to say like I can't give you a final grade on it because that's not the final production, right? You have to go back and then do your peer responses.
That's
it
for
gives
this
you- it-
Wednesday.
It measures out your time so people aren't doing it all on Sunday.
Got it.
You see what I'm saying? How do you have a conversation 5 minutes before it's due?
Yeah, I see. That's
So
why.
the Wednesday is like me just being like, hey, get that in there. Get
Yeah.
it in by Wednesday. Get that first part in by Wednesday.
We have to have our original post in by Wednesday, and then you grade our responses by Sunday.
I can tell you in 108, she does the same thing. If you don't have your first part in by Wednesday, zeros. Thursday
She
morning.
actually is making us. She requires that our replies and each of our 3 posts be on 3 different days, which is interesting.
You can do that. Absolutely, as a professor, professors can do that.
She requires, and I'm like, that's kind of rude.
Yeah. It means that you're looping back into the conversation 3 times. She's forcing that, but I don't disagree.
Like sometimes people like to get it all done in one day, like later in the week. So
And that's why we're not allowing for some of that. I'm like halfway as strict as her.
well, like for me, I already like got my degree and graduated and everything. I'm just coming back to take these ECE units so that I can get a certificate.
Sure.
So I'm like a working individual, so
Yeah,
it would be more convenient if I could just knock it all out later in the week.
Right.
So anyways, I appreciate
Tell
that.
yourself you have 5 minutes every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. I'll make it work, but I just appreciate that. It sounds like you don't have that. Like,
Mine is like a Wednesday and Sunday.
yeah, you don't require that all of our replies or posts be on 3 different days.
Not yet.
Okay.
My upper division classes, I do.
Okay. Well,
What if you're trying to get a certificate to be like a preschool teacher?
mhm.
Wait, hold on a sec. I'm gonna stop